Good morning. Hope everybody's April has gotten off to a decent start. I'm going to talk about home ownership a little bit today. I own a home. My wife and I have been blessed and fortunate enough that we own a house. Um, and I got to tell you, if someone came into my house and just did some sort of renovation or tore down something without without me wanting them to, and I came home and found this thing, part of my house, torn down, I'd be more than a little bit irate because it was done without my permission. If I came home from traveling and someone had, done something to the physical structures around my house without my permission, I would have been more than a little bit irate. If they did work and changed things on the grounds of my property, I would have been irate if these things are being done without my permission. If I came home and found someone that hung a huge banner of their face and of themselves on the front part of my two-story house without my permission, I would be more than a little bit irate, and I would have every right to be, because the property is mine, not the person who's been messing around with it. So, in case you're wondering where this is going, some of you have probably already been smart enough to figure this out. We currently have a president who thinks he owns our property, because the White House is owned by us. Whoever is the president. It doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter if it was Bush. It doesn't matter if it was Obama. It doesn't matter if it was Biden. It doesn't matter if it's Trump. They don't own federal property. We do. So these are some of the things Trump has done without congressional approval, breaking the law, and it directly relates to how I started this video. First, he's hung these huge banners of himself. He's hung them on the Department of Justice, on the Department of Labor, on the Department of Agriculture, on the U.S. Institute of Peace that was established by Congress in 1984. He's hung these huge pictures of himself all over buildings that we own, because he treats these things like he owns them, like it's Mar-a-Lago. Well, it's not Mar-a-Lago, and he is not the owner of these things, which is why all these things require congressional approval. Tearing down the East Wing, clearly, and he knew required congressional approval, and he did it anyway. That's our freaking house. That's our building. And that's why the congressional approval is required. He removed the south staircase. He made changes to the grounds. He doesn't own these things. The Kennedy Center is owned by federal government, which means it's owned by us. It is not owned by Donald J. Trump. But he just wants to put his name and his picture everywhere, and I don't understand why people are okay with this. I mean, God almighty, if Obama had done this, or Clinton had done this, or, the right would be losing their mind. And if Reagan had done it, the left would be losing their mind, and rightly so. Because these things are our property. Whoever's the president is just there using them. They're renting space. That's it. Okay? They don't own the property. So the Kennedy Center, owned by us. The White House, owned by us. He wants to now put an arch with his name on it near Arlington National Cemetery on property that is owned by us. Again, trying to do all this without congressional approval. Well, there's a reason that there's congressional approval required. Because presidents do not own the property. He doesn't own our national parks. They're there for us, the United States people, every one of us. He wants to put his name on that. And the other big one is, the United States currency is not owned by Donald Trump, but he wants to put his name on that. So, for all you people who are okay with Trump treating everything that our tax dollars pay for and we own, treating it like his own property, I don't understand you. I just don't get it. But you say you're not in a cult, but you're allowing this one person who a lot of you worship right up there with Christ. And I'm not making that up. That's not hyperbole. You're okay with, I'm sure you'd be okay with him changing the name of the country too to Trump America. I mean, what's it going to take for you people to understand this man is just in it for his ego? And everything he does points to that. This isn't even about policy. You know, there's a way to have policy, and then there's a way to execute policy. So, I don't know, just food for thought. If anybody came in onto your property and did this at your personal home, you'd be irritated. Well, I got news for you. All the federal stuff is owned by us. That's our tax money. So, have the day you deserve. And you should be irritated.